There we go. Perfect. Okay, fantastic. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Hello. Oh, yeah. So people at home, Erica has been talking about rage cleaning yesterday and think that she hurt her back in her rage cleaning. And while you were telling your story, I couldn't help but laugh because Louise Hayes has this section in her book where she talks about us feeling unsupported and that coming out in our backs. Yeah. So I didn't hear all the stuff that you guys were talking about while I was checking in, but I'm like, I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Yeah, she has. Oh, Barbara's granddaughter just graduated. So she graduated from something that combined the end of high school and the beginning of college. So she finished with an associate's degree. Yeah, they all say congratulations, Barbara. Okay, so we're gonna now we're in yoga. Okay, we're gonna get started. We'll need 2 blocks, a blanket. The strap is optional, and we're gonna have you all start standing. So once you start at the top of your mats, I'd like you to place your blocks on the tallest setting towards the top of your space, and then just have your blanket somewhere off to the sides. And so the blocks don't actually need to necessarily be on your mat, just somewhere easily accessible. I'm gonna hide self view for this one so I don't have to see my face because that's confusing to me. Okay, and then you'll just start at the top of your space. And I'd like you to just take a moment to just soften the gaze or close the eyes. And once you find yourself there, you'll just take a moment to notice where's the weight in your feet? Do your feet actually feel like they can spread into the mat, into the floor? Or is there like a little bit that's pulling away? And if you want to, you might shift a little right, you might shift a little left or forward or back, but just start to find where your sense of center is. And as you do that, you might begin to find a little bit more stillness in the shape. Good morning, Robin. Robin, we are starting standing with 2 blocks. A blanket is optional. Well, the blanket's off to the side and the strap is optional. And you'll just take a couple of minutes now to plant a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly. And I want you to just take a couple of deep breaths here. As you're breathing here, the invitation is to first notice what you notice, what's happening mentally, what's happening physically, what's happening energetically. Just observe what are the sensations, the thoughts, the feelings that immediately come to mind. And then I want you to notice what's happening in your breath. How do you feel the breath? Where do you feel the breath? Keep a slight bend in your knees if you're hypermobile. Yep. And over the next 3 to 5 breaths, my invitation is for you to slowly start to elongate just your exhale. The inhale stays exactly as it is, but how can you invite a little bit of a deeper, fuller exhale? And that might mean you open your mouth and let the breath exit through the mouth. It might just mean you simply slow down the exhalation. And at the end of this next exhalation, I want you to just take a moment to check in and notice what you notice now. What has shifted in terms of those things that you initially felt, the thoughts that were present? And how can we remind ourselves that we have the opportunity to regain a sense of, I don't want to say control, but presence by simply reconnecting with our breath? On your next in-breath, let's sweep our arms out and up and overhead. Once you're there, take a moment to pause, energize your hands, turn your palms to face one another, and imagine that you're squeezing an imaginary block. Root down through your sit bones, reach up through your pinky fingers, and see if you can find that length from your tailbone through your crown. Notice if you stopped breathing. On your next exhale, fold forward at your hips, hands come to floor or blocks, wherever feels comfortable for you. And just take a moment here. Again, now that you're down, I want you to shift your weight a little bit forward and find an even balance across your feet. Once you're there, notice that you can root from your sit bone straight down to the heels of your feet and then check in with your head. Can you let the back of the skull, the occipital bone, drop a little further towards the floor and notice what that does to the back of the spine? Take 2 more breaths here and just observe. Notice what you notice happening in the fullness and the depth of your breath. On your next in-breath, pull your heart and sternum forward and through, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your right leg back, low lunge. Step your left leg back, plank pose. Take 3 breaths here. And as you're here, you're just going to press that floor away. And again, I want you to notice the sensations. Can you feel your toes on the mat or the floor underneath you? Can you feel the palm of your hand? Can you feel any air that's touching your skin? And then on your next exhale, lower your knees to the mat, shift your weight forward and lower your chest all the way to the floor, one piece. Fantastic. Once you find yourself onto your abdomen, extend the tops of your feet onto the floor. Press your pinky toenails down and then inhale, pull your heart forward and through, isometrically pull the hands back. Notice as you're here for just a couple of breaths, if you can draw the shoulders up towards the ears and draw the shoulder blades on the back. Now, what if you tried to squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another on the back and press your pinky toenails down a little bit more? Nice work. Next exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, come to hands and knees. And then as you exhale, just round through your spine, happy little cat pose. Inhale, find a cow shape. And exhale, cat. You've got 4 of these. And again, just check in with the breath. Notice how as you're here, you can continue to press into the L shape of your hands. And while you do that, you make the heel of your hand super duper light, almost as though you had a piece of paper underneath the heel of your hand. Great. The next time you inhale, come forward into that cow shape and pause. Curl both sets of toes under and then lift your pelvis up and back to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Pause. Downward facing dog. Yeah. And you've got 3 breath cycles here. Continue to press the shoulders down and forward, and at the same time, lift your armpits up and back. Yep. Lift your hips up and back, and then it feels like you tip your pubic bone back behind you, so you kind of find that little, I don't know, somebody does a butt thing. I don't know who that is, but somebody does a butt thing, maybe like a Shakira or a twerking thing of a Miley Cyrus. Your butt goes back. Next, in breath. Start to raise to the balls of your feet, and as you exhale, walk your feet to the top of your space. Once you get to the top of your space, again, feet hip distance apart. Shift your weight forward so the weight's evenly balanced over the balls and the heels, and then inhale, reach your heart and sternum forward, halfway lift. This time we're going to pause. I want you to push your fingertips into your shin bones and then push your shins into your fingertips. So you'll shift your weight just a little bit forward, and it feels like you're falling over a precipice of a cliff. Yay! And then from there, send your pubic bone back. So we're finding that blossoming buttocks that Kyan likes to call. And then draw the shoulder blades onto the back of our body and tuck your chin slightly, towards your chest so the head stays long, and an extension of the spine. Draw your hands to your hips. And inhale, come all the way up to vertical. If you're dizzy, drop your chin to your chest, lift your sternum a little higher, and take a breath. Next, in breath, circle sweep your arms up and over your head. As you exhale, grab, or rather interlace your fingers up and overhead like little happy steeples. Reach up, and you're just going to take a moment again to root down through your heels, reach up through your fingers. We're going to take a variation first. So you're going to grab your left wrist, reach up, and we're going to take a mini side bend to the right. So I only want you to feel the stretch from like the mid-rib up into your armpit. And it sort of feels like you actually want to push your left ribs to the left as you reach up and over to the right. You feel that? It's a crazy subtle stretch, but you really just push your left ribs to the left as you reach up and over to the right. And then notice if you can breathe there. Inhale, come back up through center. And then exhale, let's switch sides. And I'll grab your right wrist, reach up with the right hand, a little baby side bend over towards the left. And again, you're pushing your upper right armpit ribs to the right as you reach up and over to the left. And we're just kind of finding the top of our thoracic spine. Pushing and then reach over to the left. Can you find that there? Okay, next in breath, come up through center. As you exhale, allow the hands to come down alongside your hips. Let's move on. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward at your hips. Uttanasana, forward fold. Fantastic. Again, take a moment to notice. Hands are either on floor or blocks. It's totally up to you, but shift your weight forward just a little bit. And then I want you to find your sit bones and really root from your sit bone down to your heels until you feel that line of energy. Some of you are going to stay right here and then let your occipital bone drop forward. Some of you are going to bend just your left knee. Bend just your left knee. Bend just your left knee. Hello, right outer hip. And then as you bend just your left knee and you root from your right sit bone down to your right heel and you tuck your chin to your chest just a little bit as you let the occipital bone drop forward. Notice what's happening on the outside edge of your right leg. Next in breath, come through center, and then exhale, we're going to try the other side. So bend just your right leg. You find your sit bone on the left side and you root it all the way down to, your left heel. And your blocks are your friends here. If you feel like that floor is way too far, that's where that's coming in. I think you might be able to bend just a little bit more. Is that okay on the left side? Okay. And then you just pause and you breathe. And then on your next in breath, go ahead and straighten both legs. Take a moment to really drop that occipital bone, root through the heels, and then inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your left leg back, low lunge. Step your right leg back, plank pose. Take 3 breaths. And you're just noticing, how does the hand feel against the floor? How do your armpits lift up and away from the floor? Do you notice that you can reach the center of your crown forward as you lengthen up through your inner thighs? On your next exhale, lower your knees down. Inhale, shift your weight forward, lower your chest down. Fantastic. Inhale, tops of the feet to the floor, pull your heart forward and through, baby cobra pose. And this time we're going to pause. So again, press your pinky toenails down for dear life. Yeah. Now press your big toes to meet that. Lift up through those inner thighs. Yep. Lengthen your tailbone back as you press your pubic bone down. Draw the shoulders up towards your ears. Draw the shoulder blades together on the back. And then everyone slide your hands back 1 inch. Fantastic. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back and then hover your hands 1 inch away from the floor. Your sternum will reach forward, and then if you'd like, you'll inhale and lift your feet up and away from the floor. We'll breathe for 3. We'll breathe for 2. We'll breathe for 1. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, come to hands and knees. Exhale, round into cat shape. Inhale, cow shape. Exhale, dog shape. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. I know that was confusing. You're like, what's dog shape? Well, you just pause. Can you make the heels of your hands lighter? So you press into the tips of your fingers. Yeah, that looks nice, Sandy. You lift up through your inner armpits and see if your shoulders, can help lift your hips up and back. Next, in breath, press to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend the knees and walk to the top of your space. Once you get there, again, feet hip distance apart. Take a moment to re-establish that your feet are right underneath your hips, and then inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Let's pause here again. Press your fingertips into your shins. Push your shins forward into your fingertips. And then from here, let's see if we can draw our pubic bone back a little bit. And then against that, draw your tummy into your spine. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back, and then bring your hands to your hips. Once your hands come to your hips, you can really push your hips back and then see if you can inch your head forward just a bit. Next, in breath, come all the way up. If you're dizzy, chin to chest, sternum lifts. 3 breaths. Just notice what you notice. How's the breath? How's the body? How are you? All right. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms. This time as you exhale, grab the middle of your forearm and let's have your fingertips on the outside if possible. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, baby side bend over towards right. Now we're gonna try to move the sensation down a little bit. So let's see if you can push into the big toe mound side of your right foot. If you can draw your left heel straight down and then draw your right ribs forward so that your left ribs can stack right on top. Big, deep breaths. Really root into that left sit bone, left heel. Nice job. Inhale, come up through vertical. As you exhale, switch sides. Grab your right forearm with the left hand. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. And then exhale, happy baby side bend over towards the left. And again, we're pushing into our left big toe. We're rooting down through our right sit bone. And then draw your left ribs forward. Yep. As you find that length happening on your right side body. Inhale, come up, both hands high. This time as you exhale, let's cactus our elbows and see if we can reach our sternum up. Really thinking of squeezing your shoulder blades together on the back. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Fantastic. From here, inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your right leg back. Pause, step your left leg back. Pause. Really root down through both hands. Draw your feet to touch. Now swivel both heels over to your left. Keep your right hand rooted. Lift your left hip up as you push your right hand down. So we're trying to find our obliques. So both feet are still pretty much on the floor. We're finding our obliques. You're still breathing, hopefully. Next in-breath, come back through center. And then as you exhale, spin your heels towards the right. Push your left hand down. Lift your under right butt up. Nice work. Next in-breath, come back through center. As you exhale, shift your weight forward. Lower the knees or slowly lower through chaturanga. Cool. Let's add on. So press the tops of your pinky toes and big toes now down. Push your hands into the floor isometrically. Now this time, I want you to really feel like you're trying to pull your heart and sternum forward by gliding your hands back. Great. So pull the hands back, draw the heart forward. Now draw the shoulder blades together. Lengthen through your legs a little bit more. From here, inhale, float your toes up and let them float back. This time you'll float your hands back and slide them back. Awesome. Now put your hands down, straighten your arms and keep your pelvis on the floor coming to your height of your cobra. So elbows hug back, heart reaches forward, toenails press down. Nice work. Next exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale through hands and knees. Exhale through cat. Inhale through cow. And exhale back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 3 breaths. Notice what you notice now. How full is that breath? How deep is that breath? How sonorous is that breath? Yeah. All right. Inhale, press to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend the knees and walk to the top of your space. Fantastic. Once you get to the top of your space, feet hip distance apart. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Pause here. Again, press into your shins with your pinkies or with the tips of your fingers. Push the fingers into the shins. Shift the weight forward just a smidge. Yep. And then from here, let's draw our hands to our hips. Slight variation. So again, pull your hips back, reach your heart forward. Bend your knees, sit your butt low, Utkatasana. Sweep your arms forward like little zombies. And then notice how your feet and hips feel. Shift your way back just a smidge and then reach your arms up and over your head, Utkatasana proper. And then just take 3 breaths. Long, steady, deep, full breaths. Notice if you can just keep your awareness on your breath. Awesome. Next in breath, stand up, reach up, look up. And then as you exhale, open the arms out to alongside your hips. Take a moment to pause. Take a moment to breathe. Soften the gaze or close the eyes, your choice. And just notice what you notice. What did you walk in with and how are you feeling right now? BKS Iyengar is famous for saying that the mind is the king of our experience. but the breath is the king of our mind. So just notice what has happened as you've been here right now. How has focusing on the breath changed how you've experienced some of the stuff you walked in with? All right, let's move on. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, let's interlace our hands and steeple our fingers. Now this time we're going to reach up and we're going to start to bump our hips over to the left as we reach up and over to the right. Some of you will stay right here. Some of you will bring your right hand to your right hip and push your hips a little bit more towards the left. Now soften your face. Find that stretch that's probably going from your left armpit down to your left hip, root down into your left hip, reach out for your left fingers. Next in breath, that right arm will come back up. You'll come back up to vertical. And then as you exhale, steeple the fingers and go to the other side. So again, reaching up and then over, bumping those hips to the right. Some of you will keep your arms as they are. Some of you will bring that left hand to your left hip. If you take that left hand to the left hip, fantastic, but let your left shoulder still keep coming forward. Yeah, so it's a true side bend. Nice work. Next in breath, come back up, both hands high. And then as you exhale, cactus the arms. Take a moment to lift the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades onto the chest. Cool. This time, let's just go ahead and lower our arms alongside our hips. Awkwardly interlace your hands behind your low back. Draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Draw the shoulder blades together on your back. And since your thumbs can scrub your sacrum, see if your thumbs really can touch your sacrum. That sounds really super weird, but your thumbs can really scrub your sacrum. Okay, and you're going to draw the shoulders. You're going to squeeze the elbows. Should turn this way. And then you're going to just scrub the shoulder blades down the back. The thumbs push into the sternum. Your heart lifts. And you just pause and you breathe. Fantastic. Next in breath, go ahead and come back up to vertical. This time as you exhale, scoop that belly. We're going to fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Once you find yourself there, if you're like, yeah, I don't want to be here, your hands will come back to the floor. Some of you will start to draw the heels of your hands a little closer together and then reach your hands up towards the sky, maybe over your head. The closer your heels are to the, or closer the heels of the hands are to each other, the harder this is. So you mitigate that for you. But again, the occipital bone drops forward. The weight is balanced on your feet. On your next in-breath, hands come to your butt. As you exhale, they slide down the legs and to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your left leg back. Pause, step your right leg back. Pause. Awesome. Once you're now in plank, let's go ahead and draw your feet together once again. Walk both heels over to the left. Cool. Stack your feet right on top of each other, and some of you will reach your right arm up towards the sky for Vashisthasana, side plank. You'll take 3 breaths, and you just notice, can you push into the bottom hand? After you've taken your 3rd breath, the right hand comes back to the floor. You come back to plank, and then you'll set yourself up for the other side. So heels will then spin towards the right. You root or stack the feet on top of each other, root into your right hand and let the left hand float. And 3 breaths. Your right hip, the under hip floats up. Awesome. After 3 breaths, left hand comes back to the floor. Inhale into plank, exhale through chaturanga. Pause. Awesome. Find yourself all the way onto your belly here. Great. Let's move on. Inhale, draw your heart and sternum forward, pull those hands back. Press into the tops of your toenails so you find yourself at your cobra's position. Now from here, let's squeeze our shoulder blades together on the back and see if you can make your hands a little lighter. Cool. From here, float your legs up and away from the floor. Awesome. Slide your hands back so they're, maybe 2 inches further back. Push your hands to straight, push your toes into the floor and find yourself in upward facing dog pose. Energize the inner thighs, pull the heart forward and through. Nice job, guys. On your next exhale, you'll come back through plank and go back to downward facing dog. 3 steady breaths. 3 steady breaths. Return your mind to your breath and notice how that allows things to naturally just shift. Cool. Now from here, can you all walk your feet forward about, 3 inches or so? And press to the balls of your feet. Swivel your heels to the left. Notice what's happening on your right hip. And then inhale, you'll come back through center and then swivel your heels to the right. And just notice what's happening there. Awesome. Next in-breath, come back through center. As you exhale, bend your knees and walk to the top of your space. Great. This time, let's go ahead and put a block in between our shin bones on the first or the second setting. Okay. From here, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Let's pause. So again, push your fingertips into your shins. Push your shins into your fingers. Shift your weight forward just a bit so it feels like you're going over that precipice of a cliff. And then again, squeeze your block. Draw your hands to your hips. Draw your shoulder blades together and then push your pelvis away from your head. Find that elongation, through your spine. Next, exhale, bend your knees, and then inhale, sit for Utkatasana. Squeeze your block, reach your arms forward, and then reach your arms up and over your head. You just got 3 breaths. And you just pause and you breathe and you notice what you notice. Can you shift the weight in your feet just a little bit so the weight stays in your feet and we're not wonking out our knees and more engaging our glutes if possible? All right, next in-breath, stand up, reach up, look up. And then as you exhale, open the arms out. Take a moment to pause, take a moment to breathe. Cool. Go ahead and remove your block. And then we're going to shift all of our weight over onto our right leg and float your left leg up. And this one's just for balance. We haven't balanced in a while, so I'm just going to make you stay here. You can circle that left ankle if you want. I'm not really so concerned about what's happening on that leg. I'm more concerned about what's happening on the right leg. So we're just getting some time, letting your body balance. Okay, and we'll go ahead and release that. And then switch over to your left leg. Right leg comes up, hands come to the front of your right shin, and maybe you circle that right ankle. And again, just getting some time to balance. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and plant that down, feet hip distance apart, hands interlace behind your low back. So take the normal interlace, draw your shoulders up towards your ears, shoulder blades together on your back, heart and sternum lift. And then as you exhale, fold forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Fantastic. From here, just let the head be heavy. You might choose to lift your hands away from your pelvis. You might not. We've just got 2 more breath cycles here. How can the front of your occipital bone just drip forward, or rather, I guess it's the back, depending upon how you think about that, and just let it fall forward. On your next in-breath, hands come to your butt. Slide your hands down your legs and to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms. Let's go ahead and step our left leg back. Cool. Let's turn our right toes to the right and our left toes to the right. So both feet turn to the right. We're now on the outside edge of our back foot. Cool. From here, you're going to push down to your left hand. You're going to lift up to your left shoulder, your left armpit, and you're going to spin or reach that right arm up towards the sky. Ideally, if both of our feet are pointing towards the right, we should be feeling something in our outer right hip. And then you're lifting your under left hip up. Yep, take a breath. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and step. Sorry, shouldn't have done that to you. You're going to step your right foot back to meet your left. Vashisthasana. I know, that was awful. Next in-breath, come to plank. This one's lopsided. Exhale, lower through chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Yep. Exhale to down dog. We've done all the shifts to get here. And how does it feel once we start to string them along, string them together, bring them to a completion? What happened to the breath in that moment when something became uncertain to us? Did the mind take over, or were you able to stay connected with your breath? Okay, inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. And then exhale, step the right foot between your hands. Inhale, gaze to the top of your space. Exhale, step the left foot to the top of your space. Awesome. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, fold in. Inhale, sit, Utkatasana. Uttanasana, chair pose. Fantastic. How did that work? Stringing things together. How does it feel? How's your breath? Can you relax your big toes down into the mat? Yeah. Next in breath, stand up, reach up, look up. As you exhale, cactus the arms, reach the sternum up. Inhale, arms high. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Soften the gaze, close the eyes. Take a moment to really notice what's happening in your feet. Some of you will choose to keep your eyes closed for this. Some of you will probably want to open your eyes first. But you're going to shift your weight to your right leg. You're going to float your left leg up, externally rotate that left leg, and then plant, maybe with the assist of your hand, the left foot on the inside edge of your right thigh or shin or ankle. And you just pause and you breathe. You pause and you breathe. Nice work. Next in breath, gently release the leg back to parallel and neutral and lower the leg down. Let's switch sides, shift the weight to the left leg, float the right leg up parallel. Externally rotate that right leg. Bring the right foot to the inside edge of your left thigh, left calf, or left ankle. And then I'm really concerned about what's happening on your left leg. Oh, ladies at home, you are really incredibly stable. Good job. All right, inhale, come back through center, and then exhale, lower down. Let's move on. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, cactus the arms, hinge at the hips, bring yourself all the way forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Similar to before, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms. This time, step your right leg long and back. Awesome. Once you're there, really root through your right hand, spin your left toes and right toes to the left. And you'll notice that the higher up your left foot is towards your hand, the more outer hip stretch you're going to get. So you mitigate that for you, and then you'll peel your left arm up. You're lifting your under right hip up, and you pause and you breathe, and you pause and you breathe. Awesome. Now this is the tricky one. So you're going to keep pushing into your right hand. You're going to lift your under right hip. You're going to step your left foot back to meet your right. Oh, look at us go. Nice work. Take a breath there. On your next in-breath, come back to plank. As you exhale, chaturanga, all the way down. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 3 breaths. 3 breaths. Nice. There. All right. Let's move on. Inhale, raise to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend the knees, empty the belly, walk to the top of your space. Awesome. All right, from here, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, fold in Uttanasana. Inhale, sit, Utkatasana, chair pose. And we just take a moment to pause and we breathe. And again, notice where your weight is in your feet. Is it more in your knees? Are you able to shift it back? So it's like really in the thighs and the glutes. Are you able to reach up through the fingers and look up through the sternum? Nice work. Inhale, stand up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, hands come out to the sides. Soften the gaze, close the eyes, hand to heart, hand to belly. Notice what you notice now. I heard something very interesting this week. This guy named Troy Herder, I'm not pronouncing his name right. He's from Trinidad and Tobago. In any case, he was talking about the concept of surrender. And he said, surrender isn't giving up, it's accepting things the way that they are. So sometimes there are things that happen in life that we kind of just have to accept. Not meaning that we're giving up, it's just that we're coming into the present moment, we're acknowledging what is, and we're being okay with that. So as we go into these next few things, I highly encourage us to try to remember that. All right, go ahead and open your eyes. We'll start easy. We'll shift your weight to our right leg, bend your left knee, reach around with one end or both hands and grab your left foot. Now we're ideally trying to see if we can line our knees up. So maybe they touch, and then notice what you need to do with your tailbone. I notice that I have to just lengthen my tailbone and my pubic bone both down in order to find a nice quad stretch on my right side. You might find something entirely different. Okay, We'll gently release that. Then we'll shift our weight over to the left leg, bend your right knee, reach around with one or both hands to grab your right foot, and then see if you can guide your knees to touch. Notice what has to happen with your pubic bone and your tailbone so that you feel like your knees are touching and you're getting a nice stretch across the belly of your quads. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and release that. Shift your weight back again to your right leg. Float your left leg up, one-legged Tadasana. Now you can either keep your hands at heart center or hands at hips. That's totally up to you, but your sternum's gonna lift. You're gonna start to hinge at your hips and kick your left foot back. We're just gonna hover here for 3. We're gonna hover here for 2. We're gonna hover here for 1. Reverse engineer that, come all the way back up. Right leg roots, left leg lifts. Fantastic. Go ahead and root that down, switching sides. Shift into the left leg, right leg floats up, one-legged Tadasana. Again, toes are pulling up, hands at heart center, hands at hips, but you'll start to hinge at your hips. Your heart will come forward, your right leg will go back, your left leg roots to the floor for 3. Head reaches forward because you can reach out through your spine for 2. And for 1, reverse engineer that, come all the way back up. Awesome sauce, release that foot. Okay, let's move on. Hands alongside your hips. Inhale, circle sweep the arms. Exhale, fold forward at your hips. Uttanasana, forward fold. Fantastic. From here, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Great, pause. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms. Now, I would encourage you to put your hands on your blocks, but you do whatever works for you. Lift your spine halfway and straighten your legs. Great. Now reach your right leg back parallel to the floor. Right leg back, other right leg. Okay. Turn your right toes to face the floor. Yep. Oh, awesome. Pull your heart and sternum out of your pelvis. Great. Bend your left knee. Step your right foot long and back. Awesome. You're going to walk your blocks back with you if you haven't already. And then spin your back foot to the floor entirely. Inhale, come up for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Now notice if you've got a long stance. I think many of us can take the up a little wider stance by wiggling our back foot back. And then once we're here, I want you to see if you can really push down onto the pinky edge of your right foot. See if you can bend into your left knee, but draw your outer left hip straight back. So it feels like your right hip comes forward just a smidge. Find that length through your ribs and extension out through your arms. Awesome. And I'm just going to leave you here for a little while I chit chat, and that's going to be fun for you. You're going to keep pushing onto the outside edge. I want you to see if you can bend into your left knee a little bit more and find that space that we found between our intercostals. Yeah. Soften across the shoulders and lengthen out through your pinky fingers. Yep. We'll just pause here. I think you got about 3 more breaths. I clearly don't have a watch and I don't count. So you're just going to be here. Your legs are burning. I bet they are. I bet your mind's like, God damn it, Jessica, how long are we here? And well, they did last week, and we still haven't gone back to that, but we're still breathing. So I want you to lift equally from both sides. Yeah. Well, that's okay. I'm still not counting. Next in breath, reach your left arm forward. Left hand can come to the block, the floor, or left arm to the thigh. Reach your right arm alongside your ears for extended Parsvakonasana. Now, what we're working on today is I want you to see how much of a stretch you can find from your back foot through the hip, through the side body. We spent all this time trying to find the length on our side body. So we're looking for the stretch all along our side body, and you're just pausing and you're breathing. Nice work. Next in breath, you'll return to Virabhadrasana 2. As you exhale, straighten your front leg long. Awesome. Now, let's see if we can lift our heel up just a smidge and then lower it back down so we feel that engagement on the back of our knee. Shift your pelvis back, reach out through your left arm and lower left hand to block, shin, or floor. And then again, you're peeling your left ribs underneath you, your right ribs up. You'll pause and you'll breathe. You'll pause and you'll breathe. Cool. Nice long breaths. Yep. Now, draw your right hand to your right hip. Turn your head to the floor. Grab your block and make sure it's outside of your front leg. you'll start to bend your front knee. You'll start to wiggle walk your back foot in. You'll shift your weight forward and find yourself suddenly floating in half moon. Yep. Lift for dear life through your inner right thigh. Now, for those of you that feel pretty stable, I want you to root even more through your left foot and then see if you can stamp your right foot back behind you. And you might feel a fun stretch happening on the side of your body there. Nice work. Maybe your right hand floats up to the sky. Maybe it doesn't, but you pause and you breathe. You pause and you breathe. Nice work, Julie. Julie, turn your right toes more towards the right side of the room. So you have to internally rotate just a little more. Other direction, other direction. There you go. Yep. On your next exhale, right hand comes to the floor. Square your hips to the floor. Take a moment to step your right foot forward to meet your left. Right foot forward to meet your left. Awesome. So we did all these asymmetrical one-legged things after doing everything pretty much symmetrical. So I want everybody to grab their block and put it between their shin bones on their first or second setting, whatever feels appropriate for you. And then again, we'll inhale and halfway lift. Push your shins into your fingertips into your shins. Shift your weight forward just a smidge. Fantastic. From there, draw your hands to your hips. Push your sit bones to your heels. Push your thighs or your hands into your thighs and your head out of your pelvis. Yep. Next, in breath, bend your knees, sit your butt, reach your arms forward, Utkatasana. Great. And you pause and you breathe and you're squeezing that lock, and you pause and you breathe. Okay. Next, in breath, stand up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, cactus the arms, heart lifts. Inhale, arms reach up once again. And then exhale, lower the hands alongside your hips. Take a moment to pause. Take a moment to breathe. If you need to move things out, you move things out. Just notice what you notice. Notice what you notice. All right. We need a water break. We need a water break. People at home, do you need a water break? Okay. All right, let's move on. Go ahead and remove that block from in between your thighs. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up and over your head. As you exhale, fold forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward, fold. Awesome. From here, inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend your knees. Plant. Sorry. Ha 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 ha. I got confused. Let's bring our hands to our blocks. I forgot where we're going first. Awesome. Shift your weight to your right leg. Float your left leg up. I was already having you go there, but I'm like, I forgot to make you do this. Okay. Pause. Turn your left toes to face the floor. Lift up through your inner left thigh and reach your heart and sternum forward, forward, forward. And we want to kick back through that left heel so much that if you were having, there you go, there you go, like a little donkey kicks. Okay, when you're ready, go ahead and bend your right leg, reach the left foot back, put the left toes down onto the floor, then spin your left foot to the floor for warrior two. Make sure your blocks come back with you, and then bring your spine up for Virabhadrasana 2. Once you're vertical, notice that you'll probably need to wiggle walk your feet a little further back in order to find more length. So vertical for you today, can you walk this foot here? Okay, let's go ahead and bend into that knee. Okay, let's sit back. Yeah, okay. And you're just gonna pause and you're gonna breathe and you're gonna pause and you're gonna breathe. You're gonna press, there. Push into the left pinky toe. Continue to bend into your right knee, but you draw your outer right hip back. So the left hip comes forward just a smidge as the right outer hip comes back. And then from there you can, find the length. Does that feel better? Yeah. And you just pause and you breathe and you pause and you breathe and you pause and you breathe. And you relax our hands. They're energetic. They're not frantic. And we just pause and we breathe and we find that as we're here for all of this, we're squeezing the mat together isometrically. So your feet are coming together and you feel that lift happening and that stability happening in your pelvis. And then you're finding the length and softness in your shoulders. And you pause and you breathe. And you pause and you breathe. And of course, I wasn't counting. So let's say we have 3 more breath cycles here. Calm, steady breaths. There's so many things in life that happen all the time But sometimes we can feel like we just want to give up. We want to surrender. We don't accept them really. We're just acquiescing. But there's a difference. How can you accept something so that you can then notice what changes need to happen in you to make the situation better for you as well as other parties? On your next in breath, go ahead and shift your weight forward. Bring that right hand to the block or the right forearm to the right thigh, maybe the right hand to the floor, and then left arm alongside your ears. And as you do that, we're still doing the same thing with our legs. So our outer right hip is coming straight back. Yep, we're pressing down onto our left pinky toe. Our right ribs are rippling under, and our left ribs are rippling on top. And then you're finding that fun long stretch all along your left side body. And then are you still breathing? I feel like my breath gets short there sometimes. Let's see if you can keep that long stretch. Nice work. Next in breath, sweep the left arm back, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. As you exhale, let's go ahead and straighten your front leg long. Again, take a moment to see what it feels like to just lift your heel. Keep that buoyancy. Yep, and notice how your calf engages and lower the heel straight back down. Shift your pelvis back and then lower the right hand to the block, shin, or floor. Again, find the connection with your feet. Your left pinky toe presses down. Your right sit bone presses to your right foot. Your right underside body becomes long and then ripples up. And then the left arm stacks on top. And you just pause and you breathe. And you pause and you breathe. Check in with your neck. Check in with your mouth. Yep. As you're ready, left hand comes to your left hip. Your head comes to the floor. Bend your front knee. Grab your block, shift it to the outside edge of your right leg, walk the block forward about a foot or so, and then wiggle walk the back foot in, float the back leg high. Great. Once your left leg is parallel-ish to the floor, you're gonna really stamp down through your bottom leg, your right leg, and then really kick back through that left leg. Awesome. And then from there, you might start to roll your right ribs under, left ribs up, and maybe reach your left arm high. Awesome sauce. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. 3 breaths. Calm, steady mind. Nice job. On your next in breath, the left hand comes to the floor. And you find yourself as you square your hips to the floor, lifting up through that left leg, bend the left knee, step the left foot next to the right. And again, take a moment to fold forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Cool. Plant that block once again between your shins. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Really push your fingers into your shins into your fingers. It just allows you to have a little bit more length. From there, hands glide up to your hips. From there, you'll inhale, bend your knees, sit your butt low. And then from there, reach your arms forward if you'd like. Maybe up and overhead. Check in with your big toes. Yep, and you just pause and you breathe. Pause and you breathe. Next in breath, stand up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, hands to heart center this time. Take a moment to soften the gaze and take a moment to close the eyes. Just breathe. Notice what you notice. All right, gently open your eyes, remove your block. Now for this one, I would encourage you to set both blocks to their highest setting, but you do whatever works for you. So that's up to you. I would encourage you to put them at their highest setting. So let's move on. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. And then exhale, fold forward, pause. I want you guys to stagger just a little bit so you don't hit each other. There we go. Sorry, I should have noticed that beforehand. Cool, awesome. All right, well, you guys are better at that than I am because I just realized like this is gonna probably have an issue. Okay, so inhale, halfway lift. Plant the blocks at the height that's appropriate for your spine to be parallel to the floor. Then you're going to inhale, float your left leg parallel to the floor. You are going to bend your right knee. You will swim your left leg behind you and to the right and come to the knife edge of that right foot. Jenny, maybe kick Sandy's blanket out of the way. Yep. And then you're going to start to walk your hands and maybe your blocks over to your right. Towards our feet, yep. Isn't that awkward? Then you're going to bring your right hand to your right hip. Then you're going to lengthen your spine again, parallel to the floor. Then you're going to scoop the belly on the right side and rotate your rib cage over to the right. And you're going to bend into your right knee. So that's the leg that you're actually standing on. And maybe you might reach your right arm up. Hello, speed skater. We've not seen you in a long time. Then you pause and you breathe. Okay, Barbara, come out, please. So walk your right leg all the way over to the right. So it's a cross behind, sorry, no, your left leg over to the right. So bring your right leg back where it was. Yeah, and then walk it closer towards the top of your mat. There we go. Cool. Can't have anybody missing this amazingness. On your next in-breath, lower the right hand down. Draw your left foot back to meet your right. How'd that go? I'm sorry. We're gonna. Oh man. All right, we're gonna do it again on the other side. No, I don't know, maybe. Inhale, sweep your right leg up. Bend your left knee. Swim your right leg all the way over to the left behind you. You're still on the knife edge, pinky toe edge side of that foot. And then start to walk your blocks over to the left. Your left hand will come to your left hip. You'll reach your spine parallel-ish to the floor. You'll scoop your belly on the left side. You'll rotate your ribs to the left and then maybe float your left arm up. And you just pause and you breathe. And the more you bend into that front leg, the more outer hip stretch you get. Awesome. Awesome. When you're ready, go ahead and lower your left hand back to the floor. Walk your right leg back to meet your left. Take a moment in center and just notice what you notice. That was intense. You haven't been there in a while. All right, let's move on. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step back, plank pose. Go ahead and lower all the way down onto your abdomen. And just take a moment to stack your hands right on top of each other, heads up, 7-up style. I just realized you guys are slightly lopsided. I forgot a 3-legged dog on one side. Oh man, we'll have to come to that next week. Yeah. Walk in circles because now we're not even. Oh man. Okay. While you're here, just breathe. Just notice how that feels. Okay. Let's go ahead and bend just your right knee. Reach around with one or both hands to grab your right foot. If your leg feels too far, this is a great opportunity for a strap, but it could be similar to when we were standing. Theoretically, your spine was just as straight. But notice how when you're here, if you externally or internally rotate the whole right thigh, so the whole thigh, not the foot, not the knee, but the whole thigh, it changes the stretch of the quadriceps. There are 4 muscles on the front of your thigh, quad. It changes how you feel, or what you feel rather. So just pay attention to that for you. Okay, awesome. Gently release that foot. Go ahead and bend your opposite leg, so left leg. Again, reach around with one or both hands. Maybe use a strap. And then notice what happens if you externally or internally rotate just your left thigh. So real big, heavy part of your leg bone. Okay. All right, let's gently go ahead and release that. As best as you can, this is going to be awkward, but you're going to slide your right leg out to the right for like a half tree pose. And again, you're just going to pause and you're going to breathe. Sorry. Yes, half frog, half tree. Yeah, I guess it's more of a frog than a tree because your foot's not connected. But you're just going to pause and you're going to breathe. And some of you are going to stay right here. You're going to be happy as a clam to stay right here because this feels nice. Some of you will choose to bend your left knee and then reach around with one hand to grab that left foot. Now, depending upon your mobility, it might feel better to grab it with the opposite hand, ironically enough, but you choose that based upon you. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing what you notice. Okay, if you're holding your left foot, mindfully release. And this is going to sound weird, but you're going to find yourself in a Sphinx pose now. So your legs stay exactly as they are, but you're in Sphinx. And some of you will move your head around. Some of you will open and close your mouth. Some of you will just be completely still, but you're just noticing what's happening here. Okay. From here, let's go ahead and gently come back onto our abdomen. Slide your right leg back to meet the left, and then find half froggy pose with the left leg out to the left. And maybe you just stay here, happy as a clam. You just pause and breathe in across your adductors, your pelvic floor, your belly button. This is fantastic. Some of you may choose to bend your right leg. You might reach around and grab your right foot. And again, as awkward as it sounds, it might feel better to use the opposite hand to grab your right foot. And you just pause and you breathe. And you pause and you breathe. And you pause and you breathe. And then if you're holding your right foot, you release that mindfully. And then you'll find your space or find yourself into Sphinx with the half frog. And you just pause and you breathe. Maybe you move your head around. Maybe you don't. Okay. Awesome. Then we'll go ahead and gently release down. Slide your left leg back. Cool. Bring your hands alongside your ribs. From here, let's go ahead and isometrically push our hands down and then pull our hands forward and draw our heart and sternum forward. Energize through your legs, so press the tops of the feet toward the floor, squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back, and find yourself into your cobra position. And notice that maybe you're a little higher than you thought you ordinarily could go. Awesome. Go ahead and lower down. We're going to try that again, but you're going to slide your hands back, and this time we're going to go into upward facing dog. So again, press into your toes, push into your hands, pull your heart forward, pull your hands back, reach your heart up, stretch through the arms. Cool. Now this is going to be awkward, but you're going to step that right knee out for half frog. And then here, I want you to really turn your body over your right shoulder. We're trying to find a stretch happening on the inside edge of your left, so as front of thigh muscles. Are we finding any of that? Okay, so we're pausing, we're breathing. Awesome, sus. And then you'll come back through center, slide the right leg back, and then go over to the left side. And you just pause and you breathe. And maybe you look over your left shoulder. Okay. Awesome sauce. Come back through center. Slide the leg back. This time we're going to come to hands and knees. And we're going to go back to downward facing dog. And you're going to pause here. You're going to push your hands down and forward. You're going to reach your heels back and down. And then see if you can continue to lift up through your armpits. From there, go ahead and lower your knees to the mat. Take child's pose if you'd like. You just pause and you breathe. Pause and breathe. Awesome. Find your way to hands and knees. And then from here, turn around and we're going to come onto our back. So at this point, you might want to start to cover your bodies. You might also want to make sure your strap and your blocks and your blanket are somewhere within arm's reach. Okay, and then when you find yourself onto your back, heads towards the top of your space, you'll go ahead and bend your knees and plant your feet firmly on the floor. Awesome. From here, grab one of your blocks and slide it between your inner upper thighs. And you put it on whatever setting works for you. You're just going to try to neutralize the pelvis again after all the stuff that we did. So I want you to squeeze that block at about 40% of your capacity. And you'll squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Release. Just take a moment to breathe and notice what you notice. And we're going to do that again. So go ahead and squeeze. Maybe this time you're at 30% of your capacity for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Okay. So this time, you're going to squeeze that block, lift your pelvis. Some of you may choose to put the other block underneath your sacrum or just hover in a bridge pose. It's totally up to you, but you're still squeezing that block. You're taking some, bless you, bless you, bless you. You're just taking some time here to breathe. And those of you that are in the more active bridge, I invite you to notice where you can really accept the shape of the body, the shape of the pose, the fullness of your breath, or where you might be attempting to force something, where you might be acquiescing versus accepting. And you'll be here for a couple more breath cycles, those from that active bridge. And then when you're done with your active bridge, you're going to meet us all in that supported bridge. And you just pause there and you breathe. Okay, some of you will stay right here. Some of you will reach and remove that block from between your thighs. And then you might slide your right leg long against the floor beneath you, just to find a little bit of opening across the front of your right hip. Pay very close attention to what's happening in your low back. Pay very close attention to what's happening in your breath. Great. When you're ready, you'll draw that knee back up. Then you'll slide the opposite leg forward. And again, you'll just take a couple breaths. And I didn't say this on the first side, but notice what feels better to you, whether that extended leg, the left leg, is neutral and parallel, or if it's more externally rotated. It feels different in the back of the sacrum, so you pick the orientation that feels best for your composition. Me, I like it neutral, but I do know people like it externally rotated, so you choose what feels best for you. And then when you're ready, you'll slide the left leg back. Okay, listen very closely. I want you to hover your butts about 1 millimeter away from your block. Notice how your glutes have to engage to do that. The hamstrings have to engage. Keep that lift, remove your block, and then slower than you want to, bring your spine back down to the mat. Slower than you want to, bring your pelvis back down to the mat. Slower than you want to, bring your pelvis back down to the mat. Awesome. Once your pelvis does finally touch, take a moment to just let the thigh bones root into the pelvis. And then to aid this, bring your hands to the tops of your thighs and you're going to lock out your arms. So really stretch your arms and it should feel like it's elongating your low back. It might feel better if your hands or the heels of your hands are pretty close to your pelvis because then you can traction out the low spine just a bit more. Awesome. All right. Mindful of the things that are to your right and your left, you might need to move things that are directly in line with your knee torso region. You'll open your arms out into a T shape. You'll push into your feet. You'll lift your hips up and to the right. You'll put your butt back down and then you'll let your legs fall over to the left. Now for today, let's see if we can stack our right knee directly on top of our left. So for many of us, that means our right knee really needs to actually go over to the right more than we would want it to. Some of you may push into your left elbow to slide your left shoulder blade to the left so that your right shoulder blade can come more to the floor. And then see if you can lengthen out from tail to crown and then rotate your right ribs more to the floor. Makes me want to sing the answer to come marching. I don't really know why, but you're just going to pause and you're going to breathe. And it feels like you want to bump your whole pelvis. Yeah, more to the right. And then find the length through the spine and then the twist through the abdomen. Okay. It's this weird stretch that then you'll feel along the back of the body as you rotate and breathe. And I want you to see if you can breathe really deep into the back of the body. Our lungs, because they're on the anterior portion of our spine, so that's the front of our spine, they're actually more towards the back of our body. So the more that we can breathe into the back of our body, we'll find more ability to get that rotation in the organs. On your next in-breath, gently release that left hand. Come back up through center. Take a moment, so maybe 2 breath cycles with your spine being neutral before you try to visit the other side. And you just notice what you notice. The mind is the king of experience, but our breath is the king of mind. How often do we find that that's actually true? That if we take a moment to take a breath, our perceptions of things radically change. When you're ready, you'll try it on the other side. So you'll push through your feet, you'll lift your hips, you'll slide your butt to the left, allow the pelvis to descend and the legs to cascade over to the right. And again, the closer that your knees are towards that right armpit elbow thing, the more compression you'll feel across your abdominal. So if you're having digestive issues, that would be fantastic for you. And then we'll push into our right elbow, slide our right shoulder to the right so that we can allow more of our left shoulder to come to the floor. And then as best as you are capable, see if you can stack your left hip, left knee directly on top of our right knee. And then you want to inhale from your tail to your crown, find that length. And then exhale, rotate as fast as you can over towards your left. That feel okay? Okay. Oh, I'm not going anywhere. I got it. I feel your body's being like, yeah, no. And you want to just see if you can really breathe in the back of the body. Yeah, look at that. We've got 3 more breaths. Okay. When you're ready, I feel like you guys were here a little longer on the first one. Okay, so we'll leave you 2 more breaths then. Okay. On your next in breath, you'll gently unwind. You'll come back through center. You'll take a moment to pause. You'll take a moment to breathe. Great. Now, as you're here, notice if there's any last minute shape or shapes you'd like to do. And then you're going to make your way to your final resting pose. So if a happy baby feels like it's nice, or maybe another figure 4 or Supta Baddha Konasana might feel super nice, you check in with you. And you notice that when you take the opportunity to really breathe, it allows your mind to not run away with things where you don't react, but you can consciously choose. So in this moment, consciously choose what would feel nice to you, what might feel healing, what might continue to feel settling. And again, if you're still moving, you still move. When you are complete, take a couple of moments, couple of breaths to really settle yourself. And when you are in your final shape, take a big breath in through your nose and an audible exhale through your mouth. You'll do that 2 more times. Every exhale, just allow more of the body to melt into the floor. And then at the end of your third exhalation, allow your awareness to just rest on your abdomen and to really notice the breath as it enters and exits the navel. I'll just leave you here with you for a few more moments and a few more breaths. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. If there's any part of you longing to linger in this shape, by all means, please stay here. When you are ready to move, allow movement to enter into your physical form, whatever way feels good to you. Those in stillness, stay as long as you'd like. Those in movement, stretch, wiggle, yawn in any way that feels good to you. You'll gently start to make your way to your right side, and you'll just pause there for a few breaths. Use your underarm as a support. And then when you're ready, you'll roll your chest more towards the floor. Press into your left hand to walk your spine up to vertical. When you are vertical, I do encourage you to elevate your pelvis on a block, a blanket, a pillow, bed cushion. And as you come into this final seat, I encourage you to make it the best seat you've taken all day. So if you need to remove flesh, move flesh. If you need to circle the shoulders. Find a sense of really establishment or sense of solidity rather in the shape. And then sit as tall as you can through the spine. Soften any tension around your throat. And for today, I want you to imagine that I'm asking you to lift the bottom of your occipital bone up. Yeah, there we go. And then soften any tension around your jaw that results from that. Bring a hand to the heart and a hand to the abdomen, and just take a moment to breathe. In any given moment, in any given day, the mind really does play a pivotal role in how we perceive and experience the things that are around us. But our breath has the possibility, the power to change how we're thinking about things and to thus change how we're seeing, feeling, experiencing things. As you take these last 3 breaths here, I invite you to take this away as a little nugget whenever you might need it going forward, however you might need it. We'll complete our practice with a collective breath, followed by a collective Om. Bring your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Really press the palms into each other. See the weight of your thumbs into your sternum and lift your sternum into your thumbs. Now again, lifting the back of the occipital bone straight up. Notice how your chin drops just a little bit. Exhale all the breath from your mouth. Take a big breath in. Audible breath out. Inhale for Om. Join if you'd like. Om. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May our thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light and the breath, the awareness within me honors and salutes the light, the breath, the awareness within each of you. Namaste.